What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Mode Studios, where every week I share new top real estate agent and entrepreneur interviews, along with tips that I'm personally doing inside my business that have allowed me to become one of the top real estate agents and team leaders on the planet. Check us out at gsdmode.com, where you can see more free, great content, tips, interviews, resources, trainings, and more that will help you massively grow your real estate business. Also, make sure to check out my personal mentorship coaching program at 90daymastery.com. This is for those of you wanting to create a truly successful real estate business that pays you the money you want, as well as gives you the time and freedom to live a life worth living. This is hands down the best, most effective, and most affordable real estate coaching program that exists out there. Thank you so much for all of your support. Now, let's dive on into today's content. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with the GSD Mode Podcast interview. Every single week, I interview top entrepreneurs, top real estate professionals, and straight up top badasses that are out there dominating their spaces. They're people choosing to not live a life of mediocrity, but instead to go out there and create big, amazing, epic lives for themselves, their families, as well as have a big impact on others. And today, guys, another rock star guest on the show, actually a repeat rock star guest on the show. So some of you may have seen our guest first interview. If you haven't checked it out, we're going to have a link below, which really goes through his story of how he got into real estate and what led him here. We're just going to pick up on all the epic things that he's done since. So our guest today, guys, has sold over $2 billion of real estate. Has the largest sale in recorded history in Beverly Hills at $70 million. So kick-ass real estate agent, also the co-founder of Rila, which is an app that helps real estate agents grow their business. Rila, sorry, my bad. And is also in the middle of negotiating a big deal as we're on the podcast here. So, but anyway, welcome to the show, my friend Ben Bacal. How you doing, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. It's been like, when you having us? 2 years ago?
It's been a minute, hasn't it? How long has it been?
Yeah, I should have looked before. I think it's about 2 years, but man, time goes by too damn fast, dude. You know, yeah, dude. So
glad to be here.
What's that?
Glad to be here.
Yeah, no, stoked to have you on again, man. I mean, you're just continuing to crush it and continuing to killing it, and also in a space that, like, look, with the reality is we don't have a lot of luxury real estate agents that are crushing it like you do, man. So I always like to get a different perspective in what you guys are doing, you know, because I always get reached out by real estate agents that want to break into that niche. But I'm like, dude, I have a 14-year career filled of selling $300,000 houses. Like, I'm not the best guy to tell you how to go out there and sell $30 million homes or whatever it may be. So, dude, let's, again, we'll just pick up on.
Okay, cool.
Where we left off from the last episode, really. But just real quick, for those that didn't watch that first episode, again, we'll have a link. You know, just give us a quick intro to who you are, where you're at, what your business looks like.
Okay. So my business, 2016 was my biggest year at over 310 million. And then every year until this year has been like, I went down because I started a tech company, but now I'm back up again. I'm on track this year of about $200 million. So I'm hoping that I'm going to have another $300 million year. But I took a lot of time off to create my tech company. I created, I think you remember, Roof Shoot, and then we did a pivot to Rila. And I got back into the game because I need to make a ton of money. I need to invest in these companies, and I believe in what we're doing for tech, for empowering the realtor to take control of their business and to get more leads, to make more sales, and to become a rockstar realtor. So right now I am in the midst of, fingers crossed, closing a deal for just under 100 million. It'll be the biggest sale in Bel Air, California. So that means I have the biggest sale in Bel Air, the largest sale in Beverly Hills for 70 million, and to date, it's still the largest sale in the Hollywood Hills for just under 40. So I'm still out there crushing it. I just got a $50 million listing on Witten in Bel Air. which is this incredible 25,000 square foot house. I'm hosting actually the Inman opening party, the Inman luxury event in Beverly Hills. And I'm hosting that party. I'm coming out with a really cool business venture that I've started. I'm going to be TBD on that, but it's going to be out very soon. And then obviously we're having the Rila, I'm having a Rila party with another sponsor. So that's a huge event that's happening in Bel Air. There's going to be 400 agents there. So I don't know if anyone on the call is coming to Los Angeles for Inman Luxury. It's a really terrific event.
When is it, man? We'll throw a link below too.
Yeah, October 14th.
Okay, coming up, man. Quick.
Yeah. So you can get the Regent Beverly Wilshire where they're having, Brad Inman, and they're having all the panelists and everything like that. So they're doing that. And then we're having we're sponsoring the luxury event. It's at this mansion in Bel Air, and we're spending like $100,000. It's going to be a killer party. It's going to be the opening for Inman. So I'm super stoked about that. And Rila is a key sponsor. And a couple other companies are key sponsors. Side Inc. is going to be in San Francisco is going to be a sponsor. Maybe, yeah, that's it for now. Rila and Side. So yeah, I've been just like out there hustling, man. Just like nonstop, like listing appointments with cool owners of these awesome estates, anywhere from, I still do deals for $1 to $2 and $3 million. That's, that's my bread and butter. That stuff is selling the most because there's a housing shortage out there.
Yeah.
The luxury market is getting a bit hit because there's an overabundance of luxury. That super luxury, 80 to 100 to 150 million, that tends to not get hurt because billionaires always want the best. But that's my world right now, and I'm building a team of agents, and I love my team, and I help them be accountable every day in their business, and I'm building that brand. I'm building my agents. I'm letting my team members, have their own teams if needs be, and I teach them. I have one guy. It's amazing. He's like literally a month and a half into this business. He got me the meeting for the $50 million deal that I went on Winton. He just got me the meeting for the $10 million deal. He's 6 weeks in the business, and he's got $70 million worth of listings. And it's impressive. Can you believe it? He's like 24 years old. He's probably going to make six figures this year. I do credit it. He took my course. I'm not just selling. I did this I spent a year, and I literally head to the ground was talking into my phone for days and days, weeks and weeks and weeks. Then I was writing the scripts out, and I wrote 3.5 hours of content of what it takes to be a luxury agent in this business. And then I had a production company, and I sat down in front of a teleprompter, and it was me and the talking heads literally speaking into this. It was really hard for me because I'm not a newscaster, but it's difficult because you got to enunciate every single word, and you got to be articulate. And I had a great script because it was all my ideas over the past, since 2005 of how to become a success, and I killed it. And it's an amazing, it's like a go-to. You can go to benbacal.com. It's a course at $300. You can have it for as long as you want. It teaches you everything about real estate. Anyone who's on my team obviously gets it for free. I first started off at $1,300 to sell them. I actually sold a bunch of them. I sold like 20 of them, but then it's expensive for people. So I lowered the price to $300, and I returned everyone's money who paid $1,300, minus, $1,000, minus $300. Yeah. So, lots going on. I got the real estate course, Ben Bacal Estates, which you can take. Go to benbacal.com and get that. I spent a year and $70,000 producing this awesome video course. It's very professional. You can watch as long as you want. I got Rila. We spent almost, well, more than that, almost $3 million building that company. And you can ask me questions, we'll get into that later. And then I'm crushing it in real estate, man.
Yeah, love it, dude. So before we get into, because I haven't talked to you since you really went deep into Rila. So I'm intrigued to hear more about it and what it does and all of that stuff. But before that, man, because you talked about the dip that you had in your business as you're developing these courses, you're going deep into a software company now. Something's got to give, right? And this happens a lot for a lot of real estate agents for different reasons, right? I think for a lot, it may not be the same reasons as you had. It may just be sometimes, man, like you just get comfortable, take your foot off the accelerator, and the money doesn't run out for, a year. And then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, what do I do? Right. What did you do though because you hit that dip, but then you recovered really fast?
Yeah.
Right. So like, what did you do and what recommendations would you give for agents that are in that dip?
Yeah.
To be able to rebound and recover?
Well, okay. So my dip was instead of closing deals and meeting sellers to get more listings and make more money and increase my my GCI. It was because I was raising money for my tech company, right? So I had to meet hundreds of people for my business. So that was my dip. So as soon as I raised my money, I got to go back and focus on what I do best, and that's rainmaking. And that's what I talk about in my course. But my sole job every day is to go out and meet with potential sellers and get them to believe and convince them that I am the man for their job, and I've sold X, Y, and Z, and this is my value proposition. So I went back up because I literally just got back in my damn car and went directly to those listing meetings and got those appointments. So it was just a function of actually getting off my butt and like cold calling, spending 2 hours a day prospecting. If you spend 2 hours a day prospecting, I mean, everyone knows this. You hear this all the time in your business, right? Don't you? Everyone, if you do 2 hours a day, you're going to be a millionaire. It's as simple as that. I mean, really. And then if you do it well and you know how to speak to people and be articulate and be convincing and be likable and smile and compliment and and be a likable, nice guy, and you can leverage other agents' sales. If you're not a big top producer yet, bring them in and help them close the deal. You're going to be rich. You're going to be successful, but you got to do the hard work. It doesn't just come to you,
Yeah. It's doing those daily disciplines, man. And there's like this huge myth, I think, of people that aren't successful that have towards people that are successful. Of the successful people love doing those mundane, boring, tedious, the 2 hours of calls, right? Where somebody that's not achieving success, I just hate doing the calls. Of call reluctance. Like I think their situation's different. The reality of the day, dude, like it sucks for all of us. You're just committed and you choose to do it or you don't, right?
Yeah, but how cool is it? Like when you get somebody on the phone and then they're like, oh yeah, I think I am going to sell my house. I mean, that's just like money in the bank. Like that should get you excited enough. Or you go out knocking on doors and that that 80th door is like, come inside. I'm considering selling next month. Boom. There's like $10 to $30 to $100,000 in your pocket. And I mean, I think also another issue is that like once an agent gets one deal, they lean on that deal for like, they get too into the minutia of the deal and they want to see it from beginning to end. And they're never going to scale their business if you don't step back and hire somebody to do the showings. Make sure if you can't afford an assistant, or get a virtual assistant, get a TC, incentivize another agent starting in the business to be like, look, if you do all my open houses for this, if you do all my showings, I'll give you, 5% of this deal. So walk away from it, and you need to be the guy who's closing the transaction and negotiating the important stuff at the end of the transaction or when you get an offer. And then your job is just to go out there and get more leads. You need to be the rainmaker. And if you really want to be a successful broker, you really need to be focused on listings, right? Not buyers are running around, looking at tons of houses and they can never buy something. You get a listing, you're guaranteed for commission, and plus that you will find buyers coming into that open house, and you can either use those if you think they're willing and able buyers, you can work with them, or you can refer them to another agent for a percentage or half of it, and that way you make more money on that deal. So a lot of tactics here that you gotta do to really make it happen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. And as I reflect back on my career, if I could do it over again and develop if I started my team again, I didn't think of it, and it wasn't something that was popular at that time. But like you alluded to with the showing agents, and it was like, dude, like I had a huge pivot in my business of was very buy heavy, switching and pivoting to listings, which ended up turning out okay. right? But where I made a huge mistake is I wasn't still trying to capitalize. I wasn't growing my listing business while growing my buy business. It was growing this and then just totally neglecting this, right? But man, I know just buyer agents that do nothing but meet with potential buyers in their office, present signed buyer broker agreements off to the showing agent. It becomes just like listings, right? Where they can massively scale their business. And there's just so many effective ways to go out there and scale today. I'm curious, dude, because, when you talk, when you're, oh, I'm going to go knock on some doors. I'm going to, hit on the phones. And, in real estate, I mean, the average agent isn't selling your price point, right? But you're using the same language that the rest of agents across the country that are an average price point are using. How do the scripts differ? Like what are you doing when you door knock or call? And I'm just curious.
For the luxury stuff?
$50 million homes versus my average price point at 285.
Yeah, luxury, to get into the luxury business, you have to have a track record. So if you're interested in getting in luxury business, you can go knock on those doors, and then you can go hit up other. I would suggest that in my course, and that's the reason why Enzo, what he did exactly what I told him to do. In my course, I say the following. I say, you need to attach yourself to a top producer, okay? So you go knock on the door and be like, hi, I work with Ben Bacal, who sold over $2 billion, and I would like to bring his buyers to your property, and I'd like to if you can give me a chance and open the door, I'll bring you these luxury buyers. Great. So then if the seller says yes, then he goes out and starts calling other agents who are in the luxury business, and he starts bringing buyers through the door with other agents. And then what that shows to Mr. Seller is like, oh wow, Enzo and Ben really are putting forth the effort, and Ben's got a track record. And then boom, later, if those 5 buyers don't buy the property, my next conversation is like, listen, let us sell this property. Give us the listing. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z with marketing and digital and print and open houses and events and PR and digital media. And this is my whole pitch. And I got my pitch really down because I've been in this business for a while. And I got a great listing presentation. And let me take it to the next level. And then finally he's like, okay, fine. And then we get a listing, and then we can really get behind it, take photos and videos and really represent the property. And then instead of just getting 5 people, we get 100 people, and we make a sale, make that commission. And then boom, that goes on my website. And there's another, adds to my 2 billion. And then I keep on getting listings, right? But if you're a new agent just trying to get into that business, you're not going to do it yourself. It's like almost impossible. You got to leverage other agents. Unless, of course, you're a really good friend, you convince them, and you're convinced them. I don't know how you convince them. That's the way I got in the business. I leveraged off of another big broker. Like in 2005, I brought in a top agent, and I talk about it in my course. I knocked on the door, and she's like, I want to sell my property for 1.5. And then she's like, well, actually, my boss has got 3 other properties, and it totals about $25 million worth of listings. One of them was Madonna's house that her boss owned. It's this huge castle. Sean Penn lived there with Madonna, and they put like those awesome pink stripes on it, and it was like up at the top of the hill. And actually, like Bugsy Siegel, the gangster who started Vegas, he killed Gertrude in the billiard room in that house. I felt the ghost in the house. It was crazy. And as long as resort, I had to bring in a big agent to get that $25 million of listings. And I was a new agent. I never had the $7 million listing before. I never had a $10 million listing before. And I knew I wasn't going to get that deal if I didn't bring in this top agent. So I brought him in, and the guy was amazing. He brought in this like big book. I was like, I've sold this. And then boom, we got the listing because of him. I was the co-listing agent. I got those sales underneath my belt. And then I went immediately after I closed a couple of deals, I knocked on other doors, and I'm like, I just sold X, Y, and Z. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, look. They're like, okay, I'll give you a shot now. So then I didn't need to co-list it, but you got to build a resume. So you got to take baby steps and leverage. And that's how, does that answer your question? How do you get, how you get into that world?
Yeah. 100%.
It's harder, but I got to tell you, those guys that do 300 units of like homes at 500,000 each. I mean, those are the most successful realtors on the planet. I mean, there's a guy in Texas that Ben, what's his name? He does like 2 million. Not 2 million. He does like, I don't know. He does like 1,000 or a couple thousand homes a year, right? And he's making millions of dollars, making $8 million a year, right?
Yeah, it's I mean, when I say the reason I haven't gotten to luxury myself personally is,
Yeah.
I mean, in Phoenix, dude, 95% of the home sales are under $500,000. So there's
That's the business right now. The market right now is there's a housing shortage. This year we have only like 400,000 homes available. It's like there's like three and a half, almost 3.2 months of inventory.
That's
you know, we're supposed to have like 8-10 months inventory. So there's a big housing shortage, but there's not a housing shortage in luxury. So like if I'm just focusing on luxury, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. So, you know, if you can build a team and you want to like leverage your time, try to, you know, get a ton of agents and scale, have systems in place so you can sell like, you know, dozens of homes a year and you'll do really, really well. And then you can work your way up, sell 1 or 2 luxury listings a year. That's awesome. Like, okay, this is it's really sexy that I could sell a $90, $100 million home. You know, 0.01% of the realtor population is, you know, gets this opportunity. You know, it's not that I'm lucky. Preparation meets opportunity, and I got myself at the right time, the right place, and I did the right things, and I blood, sweat, and tears to get here. You know, I didn't kill my soul. I didn't give away my soul to get here either, but it was definitely hard. But I'm telling you, I really appreciate those agents that are going out and hustling. You know, they're doing like, you know, 80 units or 300 units at 300,000, 400,000. That's impressive. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the end of the day, man, it's, you know, business is business, you know, right. And what I love about real estate is it can be very predictable, you know, right. If you're tracking your numbers and you're doing those daily disciplines.
Yeah.
But I do, you know, I mean, almost every luxury agent that I know has a silo of their business of more of the regular price point to create that consistency.
Exactly.
You know, and then, you know, I'm curious though, dude, if when you talked about breaking into the luxury market, what you teach in your program, and just like what you did with co-listing those listings, if an agent doesn't have the ability or maybe doesn't want to join a team, you know, right, on their team, and you approach them more as just an agent to co-list with, or even like an intern kind of a thing where you can just learn from, like, what just to set expectations for our listeners, right? So they don't go into the game thinking, oh, hey, it's a 50-50 split, when maybe that may sound extremely greedy and they may insult a top luxury agent by offering that. Like what is a good pitch to present to a seasoned luxury agent? Like if a brand new agent fresh out of school came to you and asked you to do that, like,
okay, well, that's different. Like if I have to teach an agent for 3 months of how to get how to do basic things, a new agent is going to have 3 months of like startup, right? He's going to have to figure out the whole business. So I got to teach him the basics. That guy who just brought me $60 million worth of deals, I'm giving him 50-50, but he took my course and he kind of knew what to do.
Yeah.
And he got out there and just started prospecting and hustling and bringing me on appointments. That's all I wanted to do. So I think if a new agent shows me initiative and he's like, I know how to cold call. If he learns how to cold call, he learns how to door knock, and he does that himself, then it's 50-50. If he's like, I have no clue what to say, I don't know the scripts, I have to sit down with you and learn how to cold call, and he's not like doing what needs to be done, which is door knocking and bringing me on appointments that he gets, then I got to teach him. Then the split is probably going to be, if you're looking for percentage wise, I'd say it's 65, or 70, to start. And then as soon as he starts showing me that he's actually being productive and he's got his own accountability, he's hitting it, for an hour a day at least prospecting. Then I'm like, okay, this guy, I'm gonna incentivize him. I'm like, I see that you are literally prospecting, and I can see on the app, like an iMap, he's running around or door knocking for a couple hours a day. Then I can say he's 50-50.
Yeah, love it. So what are the biggest differences that you're seeing in your real estate business versus when you first started in 2005?
The biggest differences?
Yeah.
As far as the market is concerned?
Yeah, I mean, just overall, whether it's how you're operating, whether operating your own business, whether
Yeah.
that is also might include how
There's
you
a,
market your listings.
there's a, I think the big thing is that there's a lot more, for me, there's a lot of great agents out there. There's a lot of competition. Actually, two things. There's a lot of great agents out there, and then there's a lot of not great agents out there. So it's providing me a lot of competition with the great agents, and then it's becoming very noisy with all the agents out there that shouldn't really be in this business because they're not salespeople, or they don't have the they don't have that tenacious, excited vibe about them. So I think when the market, if we hit like a lull in the market, right now, we're the GDP, it's like at 2%, just over 2%. If it goes under 2%, we're going to see a bit of it's more of a fear in the marketplace. And I think the recession will happen because of, not because of, the trade or interest rates. Interest rates are going to stay where they are. They're probably going to go down, but it's because of fear in the marketplace. And then when the market starts tanking a bit or slowing down, all those agents are going to rush out of the business. And the agents that are really perfecting their skills and are actually working and doing the hard work of connecting with people every single day, they're going to be ahead of the game, and they're going to shine. So that's where I see the market right now as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I see it. There's more competition. I see the luxury prices. They're too expensive. Everyone's asking a little bit too much for their houses. I see the shortage in homes in general. Everyone's fighting for a decent place to live. The median home price in San Francisco is like, $1.6 million, and in LA, it's like, you can't, it's like $900,000. It's like $750,000. It's just, it's pricing everybody out of the market. No one can afford things. Millennials are finally leaving their basements and they're buying homes, but there's not enough inventory to find things. And also it's tough because developers these days, it's expensive to develop, just to buy a piece of land and get a permit to build. It's like $100,000 just to start. So there's a reason why, there's less inventory, because it's so expensive to build. So we need to find areas where there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of employment, so developers can build in those areas and create homes that people can afford, right? And we got to also, there's crazy things happening with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac right now. They've been in conservatorship for 11 years, and they're holding $10 trillion worth of mortgages, and for every $1,000 worth of mortgages, they got they have a couple 10 cents. Like it doesn't make sense. If taxpayers are going to be left whole in the bag if we don't get them out of conservatorship and something happens with the GSEs. So that's got to happen. We got to open up, mortgages to the public, we got to privatize them so they can start building up their reserves. So that bubble doesn't burst again. We get in trouble like we did in 2008. So it's a really interesting market. Things are changing. Everyone's tech is huge right now for agents. I mean, if you're not like tech savvy and you're not you're not dialed into systems that are going to make your business more efficient, and you're not like creating content and branding yourself. This is all stuff that's for free. You can get out there and shoot content and brand yourself and so people know who you are. There's systems in place. People need to use CRM tools, use Copper, use, Contactually, whatever, or Contactually is now with Compass, but you can use, you got to be able to really scale your business with tech. Use tech to really push yourself, that's why I started a tech company, because I believe in branding myself and getting myself out there and getting leads. with passive buyers. If you can afford it, buy leads from Zillow, buy leads from, wherever you are, go on Yelp and find leads. Use Google, use Amazon leads if you need to. So if you want to start and make some money, if you're good at what you do and there's an opportunity to do it.
Yep. Love it. Artie, well, let's talk about, because of the importance of tech in all of our businesses, dude, it's, it just blows my mind. Sometimes just when I reflect on my overall business look, let's just call it 2009, 2010. I was doing about half the amount of home sales, but my staff was about double the size, right? Where now today, because of technology, like each one of my transaction coordinators can handle 25 closings a month. And just the amount of just automation and effectiveness that technology allows, man, it's such an epic time to be in business, right? So with that being said, man, let's talk about this tech company that you started, man. Like what led to it, and then walk us through what it does.
Sure. So it's called Rila, Rila, and it's available in the App Store and iOS for free. And essentially, what I learned, or what everyone knows or doesn't know, that 50% or more of all traffic for people looking for homes is passive. Okay, so like the majority of home buyers or potential home buyers, they're probably 18 to 36 months from looking for a house. Okay, and they're looking at Zillow, Realtor.com, Home.com. They're just kind of playing around looking at those sites. And then they're also looking at Facebook and Instagram, and they're just like going through photos, right? But the problem is and they love Instagram and Facebook because there's a social interaction part of it. They can contribute to that conversation. And on Zillow and Redfin and all those apps, it's all one-sided. Here are those photos, and that's it. There's no conversation. You can't comment. You can't like. You can't drop in links. You can't see other photos of what the property looks like or the neighborhood that it lives in. You get no contextual rich experience, but you get that contextual rich experience from Instagram and Facebook, but it's all muddled together with dogs and cats and birds and kissing and all that stuff, right? So Rila hovers in the middle of those two things, of the social giants, Facebook and Instagram, and then it hovers between Trulia, Zillow, and all those companies. It's right in the middle. It's all about passive buyers and sellers that are just want to see cool, engaging content that's brought to you by agents. Okay? Let me take a sip. Hold on a second. So agents on Rila, it's a free app where you can just literally go to open houses and you can take a bunch of pictures of that house, type in the address, and press enter, and boom, you can create a listing for another listing that you saw. So if your photos leads a buyer to that listing, you can get that lead. And the value that you're bringing to all these buyers is that you're showing them this cool content that they can't see on Zillow and Trulia and Homes.com, because this is photos that you can't see anywhere else. So buyers are getting a real perspective of the property, and then buyers and sellers and renters and everybody can contribute to the conversation by commenting, by liking pictures. You can share it super easily from your phone. So it's all like user content generated photos in a feed, whereby if you don't have a listing as a new agent, you can now get listings. You literally, if you have no listings and you're starting out as a new agent, you can go to your open houses every Tuesday or whatever it is in your neighborhood, go to a bunch of houses, go to 10 houses, take photos, go home and create listings for each of those houses. So like, for instance, I'll turn the Rila app on, but it's super easy. It's just a fun way to like brand yourself as a neighborhood expert by shooting content of the neighborhood that you work in, and basically helping other agents broadcast their listings by making them your own, with your own photos and your own comments, and then everyone can contribute content to it. So it looks like Instagram on the surface, super easy to post. And you instead of following people, you follow places, and buyers follow places. And that's what it is. You get leads for free. You take a picture, post it, and if someone hits your photo and likes your photo, you get the lead. And that's really it. I don't know if you can see my phone here, but It's called, can you see this?
Yep.
All right. So you go here and you basically, you're scrolling through photos, right? So you're like, oh, I like this. I like this photo here. And you hit it and you can start going through it. And then this person, it's broadcasted by her. You can say if it fits me or not for me, right? But essentially, so she gets the lead because she went to that open house and took a photo. So here's another one. This agent, Enzo, actually, 15 million. He went and took a bunch of pictures, and he gets the lead because he went and took a photo of it.
Yeah, that's epic, dude. So then, if it's not your listing, like if we're in the same market and I go to one of your listings and I'm snapping the photos and put it on there,
Yeah.
but then, can potentially have the perception of the consumer thinking it's my listing. Is there like any red flags that you guys have?
Yeah, so you're legally allowed. You're legally allowed to broadcast other agents' listings if they're your photos. So that's how it works. Okay. So me as a listing agent, if you come into my listing and you take a bunch of photos, when you add your photos, you basically take a bunch of pictures and you start typing the address. You can literally add your photos to my listing, but your name is going to show up as a point of contact. So it's basically like leaving breadcrumbs. So you're basically taking photos of people's properties and adding them to the listing agent's listing, or you create the new listing for it and you broadcast their listing to try to bring in a buyer for it. So yeah, no, it's totally kosher. You can see like all these listings here. There's like, I have 123 listings. Well, I don't really have 100 in my business. I actually have about 35 listings, but all these other listings are other agents' listings. Yeah. But they all look like my listing because I took the photos. And and all these photos here, they're all user generated, and buyers can't find these pictures on the internet. So it's really valuable because you're showing like what, for better or for worse, what the property really looks like. And you're making cool comments and saying, why this property is awesome, why it's not awesome, etc. So that's basically the app right now is very MVP. So in about 5 to 6 months, it's going to be much more robust. You can still search. You can search for properties here. We're adding in like a map and an explore feature, and we're going to be empowering agents by giving them more visibility by posting more content. But we just raised another $3.5 million. So we have a great team of 12 engineers. They're really dedicated. They love building tech for realtors, and we're just all about empowering a realtor and giving them a tool that enables them to get more business. And that's why I built this, because right now, if I want to like share a property on the MLS, it's kind of long. It's arduous, like, to go on the MLS and type in and press and put in like an email, or you can't like text a listing somebody. Here on Rila, I can, and it's also very social. Like I got people in this, it's just very different. So here's a listing. It's not my listing for 30 million. I just went to the house and took a bunch of pictures, and I added the listing, and I can just go like this. And then I can share it to Facebook, to Instagram.
Can you pull up the phone a little bit? The bottom.
Yeah, sorry. I can just I can basically go here, press the share tool here, and I can share it to like WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram and so forth, like really easily. Isn't that cool?
So then when you share that, because I can see agents jumping on the app. I mean, to me, dude, it's brilliant. It makes it because like, dude, I know so many agents because listing inventory is so tight and it's so hard to get listings in most areas. Yeah, dude, they're just taking listings for free, right, or for a couple $100 or like whatever it is, just because they know that now they can do open houses. They have sign calls. They have, right, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. Where like, dude, you can be a brand new agent, 0 listings, or an agent with 0 listings, and go out there and hit 2 homes a day, new build communities, right, and push it out there. So I can see how a ton of agents be flooding on the app, but the power then becomes when the consumer is using the app to deliver the leads, right? So when you share that to like Facebook, and they want to view it, do they have to download the app to view it, or how does the consumer get on the app? Yeah, so exactly, great question. So when you press share, right now it's up to you to share it, and you can easily share it wherever you want, and that's basically your primary way to get it to people. And then
the buyer does need to download the app to see that listing. Okay. So, but the value add for that buyer is that they're going to see tons of off-market properties, or they're going to see properties with different photos they don't see anywhere else. So they get like a real perspective of what that property looks like. And most importantly, like, check this out. So I have 123 listings on here, right? But they're not all my listings, but I go to this page and that's all my listings there, right? Or here's a list of them like that. I can literally press share and I can share all those listings. So it looks like I have tons of listings. So a new agent who's got zero listings in the business, you go out for 2 weeks and you could probably get your whole market. You could look like they're all your listings. And they're going to look, this is different than just looking on like, Zillow or stuff, because those are all the same photos. Every single one, Redfin, Zillow, Homes.com, they all have the same photos. So here, as a new buyer's agent, you're showing photos you can't see anywhere else. I got like people in this picture, I got like, this photo right here. It's not all like lit up beautifully, but it really looks like what the property looks like, right? Sometimes I do put pro pictures up here, of course, but yeah, it's an amazing tool for like, and that was the point of also the company, is that new agents, I really wanted them, or even like agents for the last, like, that are relatively new, to get into the game. They have no way to get, it's so hard to get into the game. They don't have money to pay for Zillow leads. They necessarily, maybe they don't like to door knock every single day. This is a way for them to generate leads by contributing to the conversation and taking photos and broadcasting other agents' listings. Or maybe they knock on it. I go door knocking all the time, and the seller's like, I don't want to sell now. I want to sell in like, maybe 3 months from now, or it's in construction. And I'm like, okay, so in the past, I take a bunch of pictures and then I'd upload them to Gmail. I'd go to my contacts, I press share and then put it out there, right? And that was the only way to like share a pocket, right? But now with Rila, I have like a structured way to create a listing, and it'll always live here. So I can always go to like my listings and see like all of my listings that I have here, right? And then I can always, every day I could like contribute content to it. So I go like this, I go add, I go find the photo that I like. I'll go like here, I'll go hit this picture here. I choose it. I could say something about it. And I just type in the address and I go, here, Woodrow Wilson, boom, post, boom. So then I just added that listing to the feed. It's right here at the top now. There you go. And then buyer finds my photo in the feed. I get the lead. And then I can simply, share that picture right now to Facebook, and go, I go amazing home in Hollywood Hills, post that, boom. And, I could now share that to Facebook. And then, if I've done that before, and I get, my engagement on Facebook is crazy. I get like hundreds of views. So it just looks like I'm in the game, getting out there and showing people a different perspective of what the homes look like. That's Rila. And it's find that passive buyer, because those passive buyers are really so important. Zillow gets like 30 million views like a month. Okay. So most of those buyers are passive, but no how do we collect those buyers? How do we find those buyers? This is the way to find those buyers for agents, because otherwise you got to do it on Instagram. Where else do you do it? Or Facebook, but they get caught up in everything else: dogs, cats, anniversaries, weddings.
So when they go to, the consumer goes and they're like, somebody just sees that listing that just got posted, right? That you just demonstrated, and they're like, yeah, this home fits me, or whatever, that when they click on that button and that lead then goes to you, is that then their contact information that they use to register with the app that gets sent to you?
Yep, exactly. So like, here's some guy here, and it's his profile, you see, and then see details. Oh, it says hit me, not me. That's not for me. There, I've got another one. Hit this, boom, about this listing, and then his name comes up. Oh, so I'm going to talk to him. So you see that? That's his name.
Yeah.
So you just create your profile. Only agents that have licenses get the leads. You get to put your phone number. If you're not like if you're only within the United States, if you put your phone number, you can only get leads if you're an agent.
Yeah.
And we verify you that you're an agent on it. But anybody can post content.
So like because you said it's free for agents, right?
It's free for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, right? So I'm sure that tons of agents that are going to watch this and listen to this are downloading it, right? What are some best practices? Like, hey, if you just consistently did these few things each day, like you're gonna pull this in.
If you do what every day?
Just some overall best practices. Like if I'm downloading the app right now, I'm listening to this podcast right now, I download the app. Like, what are some daily best practices? Because you've got, the posts that you're doing to get the awareness, the engagement all coming in, right? But then you also, hey man, I got this lead. Like, what do I do and to nurture them? And like, what are just some overall best practices that you'd recommend?
Okay, well, first of all, on open houses, when you hit open houses, instead of just like going to see an open houses and leaving empty, like, oh, this is a cool house, and you leave, you need to go in there and take photos of all of those open houses and create a database of listings from those open houses. So that's first and foremost. Okay, it's absurd that you're spending thousands of hours a year and you're not walking out with those listings that you're not broadcasting other agents' listings and making them and getting leads from them. Okay, that's what you can do with Rila. So you always have those listings and you can easily share them from your phone. So if you're going to open houses, you need to be doing that period and contributing to that conversation. The other thing they need to be doing is you need to be either doing one of three things: buying online leads, buying online leads on Zillow or wherever you're getting them from. Okay, or you need to be door knocking, or you need to be cold calling every day. You need to spend 1 or 2 hours a day doing something to meet people, get face to face with them and say, hey, I'm an agent in your area and are you looking to sell? And I just saw your property, but looking for another property on the MLS. And would you ever consider selling? Because I got some buyers that are looking in your neighborhood. You got to be doing that nonstop until somebody says yes. And then you got to show that at the same time, you got to show that you've sold properties and that you're a pro. And that's why I built Rila, because if you look at Rila, it looks like you have tons of listings. Even if they're not your listings, it looks like you've been there because they're photos they can't find anywhere else. So it looks like you have listings. So you need to just prove to the world that you're out there and you need to be shooting content and putting it on Facebook and putting it on Instagram and creating a page on Instagram that says you're a person in the business every single day. So if you're door knocking and cold calling or whatever you're doing, spend 2 minutes and shoot a story about yourself to promote the fact that you're out there as a realtor. So that's branding yourself, Facebook, Instagram, just doing some kind of content and putting it out there. That's creating listings on Rila, so it looks like you have listings, okay? Or it looks like you're out there creating content about listings that you can't find anywhere else, contributing to the conversation, telling that story. And then you got to be prospecting and finding sellers that finding sellers out there. If they're cold sellers, if you don't want to hit your sphere of influence because you don't think your sphere of influence is going to get you listings, your mom, dad, sister, brothers, cousins, aunts, whatever, then you need to go out and hit cold. You got to do cold calling, right? Meet people cold. And you got to get on your game of learning that script. There's so many online places where you can find awesome scripts and develop your skills to talk to people, cold calling or door knocking. Go hit those doors, burn the rubber and the soles of your shoes and get out there and knock on doors. Just keep on going until you find the right guy. Look sharp, wear a nice suit, wear a nice shirt. If it's hot outside, wear a nice t-shirt and slacks, and just keep going and going and going, and then leverage other agents to get those deals. If you don't think you can close that $300,000 deal, then bring in a top agent to help you get that listing. And then once you get those listings, don't focus on the details. Go out and be a rainmaker. Just keep on getting more deals, right? Yeah. So that's kind of very high level secret to my regiment out there.
Yeah. So then, yeah, I do like, so in my area, well, and I don't want to say my market just being like, again, we're kind of like that median United States price point, right?
Yeah, great.
And especially right now, more than when the market's soft, there's a lot of for sale by owners out there.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, like but when I call for sale by owner, because it's a big part of our business, every one of them, it's so rare that you'll meet one of them that doesn't say, if you bring me a buyer, I'll pay you commission.
Right.
They just don't want to pay the full commission, whatever, right? So, right. And then leveraging that Rila app. Yeah. Going in there and like, hey, let me snap some photos and explaining how it can contribute to finding a buyer and generating those leads, dude. Because what I love about what you've created, dude, is it's getting harder and harder and harder to lead generate, to give people something of value. Yeah. Like a lead is, you exchange something of value for their contact information. It's getting more difficult each and every day. Sure. Where this just gives a different angle for a big value add. Yeah. And like you said, man, it's creating that perception of you being a very successful agent, even if you're not, right? Yeah. And it's just like, I love what you just said. Like, you go into a for sale by owner and they're like, bring me a buyer. And you're like, okay, can I take a bunch of pictures? They're like, of course. So now you can take a bunch of pictures. Actually, it was really cool. So let's say me and you and two buddies, right? We're all in the same brokerage, right? So we all door knock together, right? 3 of us, we all go in there and take pictures, or you go take 30 pictures, and then you come home and you airdrop it with 2 of your buddies, and you're like, hey guys, let's all try to sell this property together. Let's all agree at 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Airdrop it. You all share. One of you decide to create the listing, and then you all share photos to that same listing, and then you all share it to your social network, and you'll all crowdsource that one listing. So that's the whole idea, is that all these listings are all crowdsourced. So like this I sold a listing for $9 million this way. I'll search here, 1172. Can you see this? I can now, yep.
1172. Doheny, where is it? This is so hard this way. Okay. Oh, I spelled it wrong. That's why. 1172 Doheny. 1 second. Anyways, I know where this is. So here's a house on Thrasher, okay? Essentially, all these pictures are brought to you by different people if you want, because I don't have any reception. Basically, I'm sorry, I don't have any internet here, so it's hard to connect. You can crowdsource all these listings. So all these photos are brought to you by different people. So basically, you can walk into for sale by owner, take 30 pictures, share those photos with two of your other agent buddies. You all contribute to that content. You all then press the share button to sell it, and you can collectively you can help sell this listing together, and you can all hopefully split the deal. And then what you do is one of your guys brings a buyer, you all go there together, and next week you bring another buyer. Then Mr. Homeowner is like, oh, you know what, these guys, they're showing up every day. I actually like them. I'm building a rapport with them. I'm going to give them the listing now. And by the way, that's how it always works. It's like going on a date, right? You're not going to go kiss the girl on the first date. You're going to go meet Mr. For sale by owner. You're going to meet the girl, say hello, take her on 2 dates, and then you go in for the kiss, right? Same thing with listings. Like you got to knock on the door, meet the seller, bring them value, show them that you're charming, and then they're going to give you the listing. So you got to put forth the work of like meeting them. So that's the idea of Rila too, is that you go and take photos that no one else can see anywhere else. You all contribute content to that listing. You put it out there, try to bring buyers. You can share that listing with other agents in your office really easily. Bring those other agents with their buyers, build a rapport, and then go in for the listing, and then you can put it on the MLS and sell it. You'll be off of here. This isn't like to replace the MLS. It's just to get into the door. This is to show engaging content you're not going to see anywhere else. But it's a great conversation starter. It's like an entertaining. It brings contextual information to the buyer out there that you can't find anywhere else. But it's all about lead generating, you know?
So then let's just say I get a brand new listing, I put the photos on there, add it to Rila, then another really user that's an agent stops my open house and they go to take photos on there. Can multiple people post the same listing?
Yes, exactly. They what they can do is they can contribute content to your listing. So you can be the one that like controls the listing, and then other people can add content to your listing. Okay? So you're basically, as a listing agent, you're turning everybody into your ambassadors to help you sell the house. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you're basically weaponizing all these agents that come into your open house to help you sell your listing. And that's what it's all about. Does that make sense?
Yep. So then you mentioned that you want to have a way to collect these passive buyer leads.
Yeah.
When they come in. So let's just say it's a buyer that says, yes, I'm interested in this lead. Like what are you doing? What's your follow-up looking like with those?
Well, you want to put them into like a CRM. So I would check out this CRM called Copper. It's like probably the easiest. It looks very like Instagram on the surface, and you can download it on your app. And you put them in your CRM, and you just learn to follow up with them, and then maybe transition them into send them stuff from the MLS if you want to, right? But you put them in a drip system, so you make sure you're talking, you're in your calendar to send them like the new listings that hit every week. Send them an update, market updates of a property that they liked, that you saw that they liked. Tell them it's been reduced. Ask them if they want to go, to open houses with you, and you can tour around open houses. I personally don't represent a lot of buyers unless they're buying very expensive homes. I've been there, done that, but it's a great way to get into the business and to make some money, so you can stop working at as whatever you're doing on the side to get into the business. So you can, focus on lead generating every day. Right.
Love it, man. So you mentioned that, this is, kind of phase one, and then you have the 2.0 version, right, of more to come. Like what's your vision? Like where do you expect how do you expect the app to operate differently? Let's just say in 3 to 5 years versus what it does now.
Well, I don't want to go that far ahead. Let's go 5 months.
Okay.
So the app right now it's super easy to create a listing and to share it with somebody. For instance, all my listings are on Rila, and when I want to share it with a client, it's way easier to share it to Messenger or email via Rila than it is anywhere else. So I use this more than I use the MLS if I have the listing on here. Okay. For other people's listings, because not every listing is on here, you got to use the MLS, right? But I'd rather go to, if my client's like, I'm interested in this property, I'll go preview it for them, and I'll take pictures and I'll create the listings on Rila, so it looks like a different listing. It's got different photos, right? So right now it's a super MVP. You can just simply list a property. It goes in a feed. People follow neighborhoods instead of people. And in about a couple of weeks, you're going to have liking is going to be in any week now. Commenting is going to be in about 3 weeks, so people can contribute to the conversation. And then we're going to have this cool explore feature. So agents that are posting the most are going to be at the top. So the most agents that are showing the most engagements can own that neighborhood by posting the most. So I envision it's going to be gamified. So the agents that really gets out there and hustles the most and goes and hits open houses and creates listings is going to show up the most. The agent that talks about the neighborhood the most, that they live in, to give people information, is going to be shown the most. It's going to show nearby listings. All that leads to we're going to help people. Oh, another really cool thing that's going to be coming soon is you're going to be able to take a photo from Rila, and it's going to say, do you want to share this to your story on Instagram? So with one click of a button, it'll go right to Rila, but it'll also it'll go direct to Instagram and to Facebook with one click. So it's kind of like and then it still creates a structured listing. So you always have that structured listing on your phone. We're adding that you can contribute to anybody's listings now. It doesn't just have to be an agent's listing. We're opening it up worldwide. So it can be used. Right now, we have every single currency in every English-speaking country in the world, and we're opening it up so anybody can add a listing. So if you're looking for properties in New York, you want to refer an agent to New York or to Miami or to Brussels or to London or to wherever, Australia, you can add some, you can upload content, or you can find agents anywhere. So, or find buyers anywhere. So that's gonna be super cool, because right now there's not like a one-stop shop to find listings all over the world. That's the big vision. So the roadmap is really cool. We're making it really easy. Another thing on the app, people we're getting feedback, and I love having feedback, but people are saying that, well, it's right now it's like one big feed of content. So you can kind of span the system now. So like this agent, she kept on putting this agent here just kept on putting one picture after another. So you're only going to be able to upload like one photo a day. But if you upload more photos, then they're going to be wrapped up into that listing. So we have 8 engineers working on the team. So we're working really hard to make it better and better. I promise. In 6 months, it's going to be really cool. So if you want to just start creating listings right now, you're going to be ahead of the game in about 6 months. And we just got approved with like Google. So it's a cool accelerator program. We're spending millions of dollars. So if that's what, Gary Vee,
mm-hmm.
right? He always says like, find like the new technology that's cheap and inexpensive, and you can get yourself out there, right? Like imagine you were the first one on Instagram or the first one on Twitter, and you built your profile and you built like your, back then you started early, you'd be dominating, right? So if you want to dominate in that passive buyer world or seller world, that is a million times there. Literally, like all the stats say that 50% of all traffic is on these sites, Zillow and Trulia. But you can't talk to those people on Zillow and Trulia unless you're spending thousands of dollars a month. There's no commenting. There's no adding photos to other agents' listings on that to show what those properties. You can't contribute to that conversation. It's all very one-sided. All those sites provide the exact same content. So that's cool. All those passive buyers are there, but you can't talk to them. You can't talk to them on Instagram, but they're also like looking at everything else. So you got to keep them focused. Show them cool stuff show them that you're an expert. I think that's what that's about,
Love it, dude. When just out of curiosity, man, when let's just say I get a lead on there, am I able to see any of their behaviors? Like, hey, this person is.
Oh, thank you for telling me that. You're like tech. You get this business. It's pretty impressive. No, exactly. So the app is going to learn people. So all that data that we're going to get on people, we're going to be learning who they are and like what their likes are. So we're going to be like matching agents with buyers. So it's like there's going to be a good chance, there's an 80% chance that this buyer is going to like this property. It's going to send it to you. So all that data and analytics is going to be brought to you. So that's super important.
That's epic, bro. So and those that are watching and listening, we're going to have links for all of this below. So we'll have
two things is benbacal.com for the courses, and then Rila is just iOS. It's not Android, unfortunately, right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
It's in the App Store.
Yep, love it, dude. That's epic, man. Make sure you guys go check that out. It's has been mentioned, man. It's as good of a price as you're ever gonna get. So
yeah, it's free. We were in Forbes actually. We were in Forbes. And Bloomberg. It was really cool. They talked about us being the Instagram of real estate. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's badass, dude. It's killer, man. And dude, even if, I'm sitting there looking at that, I'm like, it's just such a different, but also easy way to, when you're sharing everything to other social media sites, to be out, like if you're going to be sharing those properties anyway, you might as well build up, the clout on Rila, but then to share it on there, it's a different way of sharing. And when you demonstrate that, it's so simplistic, dude. So quick.
Because you're sharing photos you can't find anywhere else. I think that's right now the value add, and you're adding, comments to that. So are you going to come out to the Inman party on October? If you come out to LA, you come out with your camera and you can interview some. It'd be amazing.
I have an event
that day,
the 17th, 18th here. I might be able to. I didn't know about it until our conversation, so I might be able to make it happen.
Yeah, it's cool.
We're not that far away. We're about an hour, 45, 50-minute plane ride. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm in San Francisco right now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be,
Well, no, I live in Los Angeles. My business is in LA, but I'm here in San Francisco for real estate, but I'm headed back tonight.
okay. Right on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Right on, dude. All right, you guys. Well, I know I ended the podcast with this, but information without implementation is truly just the start of delusion. Information isn't power. It's taking that information and taking massive action on it, which gives you the power to go out there and create the life that you know you want and deserve. And Ben shared so many amazing pieces of advice with you guys today. Take something that you learn and go out there and take immediate massive action on it so you can go again, create the life that you know you want and deserve. And as I mentioned a moment ago, those links will all be below. So you can go check out all Ben's amazing training, follow Ben, learn more about Ben, as well as check out the new Rila app, which I highly recommend that all of you go do. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Ben, I truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to be here, man. This has been awesome, brother.
Yeah, you got it. I'm so excited. Thank you again for having me. And I'm sorry it took so long to get on this podcast, but
Nah, you're a busy man. I get it, dude. Keep kicking ass, man, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks, brother.
Peace, guys.
Peace.